Et voilà, nous y revoilà sur le superbe plan d'eau de Monaco avec une course qui va s'avérer mais tellement passionnante. Yuri, here we are back with a lot of wind. It took up a little bit, as you can see on our hair, less for Yuri than for me, but it's going to be an exciting race because the conditions are tougher than this morning, and also there are 50 points to win.
Absolutely fantastic racing is going to be happening right now in few minutes. The crews are already on the water and we are already waiting sincerely them to perform their best. Just to remind you that for this event there is the most points to get, so this is basically the most important race today. And all the problems, all the issues what we had before in the previous races might be neglected right now because the performance of the quad is just costs so much points that even the, let's say, crew somewhere in behind in the 10th place may become the winner after all.
Yeah, and you see that the crews are getting ready. They're close to the boards there, not to lose their space. I think they're eager to have the best line to start in this race. So yeah, we have normally something to show you what happened this morning, so that you get a feeling of the man that started and with a win for New Zealand actually. Well, and then a very exciting mixed double. We talked to some people and they said, yeah, it's part of the game. You have a little bit of everything, but that's really what it was, a little bit of everything.
The mixed double was absolutely carnage racing. There were some crashes, there were some really tight finish lines. For example, between the Portuguese team, the Patricia, Batista and Afonso matching against Caroline Freund and Ben Mason, and Jannica van der Meulen winning the women's solo, followed up by the Anastasia Kozenkova and followed by Magdalena Lobnik.
Yeah, it was also a dramatic race, because up to very late we didn't know what the final result would be, because they were so close together, Magdalena and Anastasia, that it took a while for the umpires as well to come up with the final ranking of this. Final ranking that also has an influence on the general ranking. And you see that at the moment, two crews are really with the same number of points. Two swift crews, the Regatta Rascals and the Riviera Rockets, with 59 points. 51 for Ruby Netti, so the full Dutch crew. The Philippi Legends are 50, so nothing between them. If you know that there is 50 points now to be given, it gives a good image of the level of this competition.
Well, as you said, absolutely, and you see that the teams are very close to each other, and to 2:59.59, and this 9 points difference is absolutely nothing when it comes to the quad racing, because, for example, if there were snaps or there are some major collisions where even the top crew is gonna be involved, it's just gonna actually almost waste all the points that they earned till now. And you know, and as we know that only the first three crews gonna receive the prize money later this weekend. So yeah, it's gonna be really fantastic and unique racing what we're gonna experience today.
Yeah, and also the conditions are fantastic. It's of course it's sunny, but there are nice waves, I think, and that means that also the coxes will have to read the sea very carefully when they are racing. We have very experienced coxes there, people who really know the sea, and we will come back to them when we introduce the crews. And also a very young one, Ryan, coming from New Zealand. He's only 16 years old, but he's a life surfer.
Well, I believe in him. You know, the kids, they're absolute fantastic rowers, they're absolute fantastic surfers, so all the prerequisites for the perfect coastal rowers.
Yeah, so just a quick overview. We'll have the Beach Blast. We didn't talk too much about them yet, but we have Senna Yilmaz, who is not only a successful rower, but she's also a pianist, and she can combine that with her hands. I'm always very impressed by this. She's together with Samuel de Boussac, Viola Patrigiani, also quite experienced, Marco Bolha and Rafael de Boussac will be their cocks.
Another fantastic crew that came that we haven't mentioned that far. It was Canottieri Cerea with Irene Gattilia, Eleonora Nikifor, Paolo Falossi, Gabriele Fanelli, and Leonardo Tronca.
Yeah, and it's a crew from Torino, from the Silver Skiff organizers, and they come with some experience in the coastal, but also in classic rowing. Yeah, Filippi Elite.
We were already talking to a bunch of those people, really a lot. I mean, fantastic performance by David and Mamulo in the single earlier this, in the mixed double, I'm sorry, with Gaia Umbre Chavani, and Gabriel Soares performed very well in the single. And with Elodie Rivera, who is just a local matador.
Yeah, three-time Olympian, and she lives in Nice, so not that far from here. And the cox, who is Alessandro Pichetti Calder. So looking forward to what he will do here. He has already quite a lot of medals at the World Rowing Coastal Championships. The legends, do we need to introduce them again?
Well, we were talking about them. Martin and Volent Sinkovic, really absolute most fantastic rowers that ever existed, and accompanied by the another not less significant rowers, Magdalena and Katerina Lobnik.
And their cock Sergio Lopez, also an experienced one, and is really thrilled to be the cocks of that Filippi legend team.
The next one is Filippi Team Performance. This is a combination from US and Ukraine, together combined even with Finland. Because here we have the Joel Naukarinen, Christopher Bach, Darina Verhaglat, Anastasia Kozhenkova, and coached by the Chu.
Yeah. Peter Chur,
from US.
Yeah, and also, yeah, we have the rowing fin there. Huh?
Yes.
It's easier than saying Naukarinen. We're grateful that he has a nickname. Filippi Turbo, Germany, with Leupold, Tertuf, Wolf, Werner, and the cox Jette Hansen. It's the first time she comes here in Monaco, and yeah,
they're already performing very well in overall ranking. They're already, if I'm not mistaken, at place 4.
Yeah, but the cox also, she did a nice racing in the mixed in 2025 at the beach sprint final.
Wow.
The Coastbuster from Germany.
That's I would say a bit more people from the German crew who are more into the coastal vibes. In general, they were participating in the really bunch of already events, so a very experienced one. The youngest one though is the Anna Kistenfenig. She is pretty new one, used to row as a junior last year. And we're accompanied by Alexander Förster, Lucas Schäfer, who used to be an Olympian, and Michael Benedict-Remes, who is a commissar of the police back home.
And Alexandra Förster is also an Olympian, and she participated in 2024. Their cox is Elisa Trog, who has taken a first place in the European Rowing Club Coastal Championships with Remmers and Trog.
And she already led the crew basically to the medal, because even it's a, you know, you're gonna see that it's gonna be very challenging for all the crews.
And Interstellar, what a name! It is an Italian crew.
Italian.
Yeah, with Felli, Mugnani, Bavazzano, Zerboni, who has the biggest palmarès of all. And their cox is Ilaria Columbo, who has been also quite successful at classic rowing.
The next team that on the list is the Israeli Rowing Federation. There are a lot of, let's say, newbies in this crew, but the one of the most famous Israeli athletes is for sure the Danny Friedman, and he used to already row in the coastal races, and now he brings just a completely new crew to this competition and tries to get them in this coastal vibe.
But it is the first time in a crew for him. He is a single sculler or a solo. He was here at the World Rowing Championship, the Coastal Championship in 2016, and the cox is Aviron. He's junior. Kangwa Wild Racing Cosmos.
Federico Garibaldi is one of the very well-known names in the coastal world, with a lot of World Championships title, but a bit more in the past. He is now working, so already a bit out of this high performance level, but nevertheless, as we saw today, he delivers still very solid results, and we are very happy to having him still here and, you know, to vibing with us.
Yeah, and we have Baldo Ramella, who also has a beautiful palmarès, both in coastal and classic rowing. Ariana Noceda, and the cox is Raisa Sionico. She has been a coxer for a long time, but it's the first time here, and we are at 3 minutes from the start.
Well, another fantastic crew is the Kangwa Wild Racing Dynamo, and with Mathis Nottelet was third on the World Championships Beach Sprint Finals, together with Annalisa Katerina, Megan Knight from Great Britain, and one of the most experienced coxes on the, with a very bright smile that is trying to blend all the other opponents, Peter Doyle, who already led so many crews into the medal position on the major international events.
Yeah, and Kangwa Wild Racing Galaxy with Melagari, the two brothers, Miniemi, Barrison, and the cox Fabio Siracusa, also plenty of medals for them, mostly in classic rowing.
They performed just so well last year. I think they finished up 4th or 5th.
2 minutes. We go a little bit faster here. Team Kangwa Wild Racing Celtic from Ireland.
It's a very young and very new crew from Ireland, with Adam Kenny, Kate Doon, Jack Moylan, Gabriel O'Donoghue, and Shay Doon.
The light boat, so unlucky this morning, with Nathan Puech, Antoine Lefebvre, Chloé Portier, Chloé Briard, and Alexandre Montbazet, who is a local who will be coxing them. Rubit Netti, yeah, we know all of them.
We already talked about
Robbers, Keizer, Van der Baie, Van der Meulen, and Femke den Berg as the cox. The son and daughters of the Thames, from Great Britain and USA.
Very young, oh no, they are actually not so young, I'm sorry for that.
A very new crew, not a young
new
one.
Crew
And 1 minute from the start, it is Nicholas Young, Ruth Turnock, William Mucker, Janet Mackey, and Peter Henning, who has been rowing all his life. We have the impression when we look at this.
We will try to continue with the presentation a bit later. Let's just go and look for these final alignments before the start, because it's 1 minute to go to the highlight of today's day, to the quad race.
And 26 quad on this starting line. I really look forward to it. Also look forward to the design of the course, because they will come back to us. So stay on the dig. Look at the screen when they're a little bit further, but stay on the dig as well. You will see them turning just in front of us.
We have two very, let's say, favorite crews, the Team Rubinetti and Team Legends, side by side. I hope that they're not gonna collide same as in the mixed double, and they're gonna have just their most perfect race.
What is this boat doing there in the middle? Oh, it's they will start the race again. Stop, 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 because there was a boat in the middle. Yeah. It's a little bit a strange thing there. There is a red flag. Ah, they were there because it was a red flag. They were showing it. So I don't know why they had to stop the start, but actually, Yuri, that's good. We can continue with the presentation of the teams. Thank you.
So, the next one is the Swift Surf Riders, and this one is actually a composite from 3 nations, and one of them is Portugal, represented by Afonso da Costa and Patricia Batista, together with Gigamantis Galisanskis and Lola Garcia. All the athletes were competing at the World Championships in the beach sprint finals, so they already know how to row and they well prepared for those conditions, for variable, very flexible athletes, so we wish them absolutely the best of luck.
Yeah, and also the cocks, Elia, Jorda, Clement will have a huge job to do here, because I guess they will be demanding on their cocks level. The Swift Regatta Rascals.
That is a Spanish crew, together with such legends as Anda Martin, Esther Zamorano, Terena Diaz Moreno, and Gonzalo Garcia Ferrero. And as we know that Anda Martin and Esther Zamorano already won the mixed double, Teresa Diaz Moreno just showed a very solid performance in the single, and Gonzalo Garcia Ferrero, he was, if I'm not mistaken, 4th or 5th already in the men's single too. So very decent crew, really the crew to follow, and yeah, best luck to them.
To all of them.
Absolutely.
We are just neutral. We just want beautiful racing. And they will have to restart because there were more than 5 boats that were ahead of the line. So that's a mass full start. And this is why they start again. So yeah, it builds up a little bit of the nerves in the teams as well, because you had this. I guess the ones who were just in front will have to be very careful. Now they know, but it's also the wind. The wind is blowing to that direction, so keeping the boat like that, it's also something you have to do.
It's very hard to align the boats right now because of the wind, because of these little shakes of the wave. And don't forget that the boats, they're just so massive. And you know, there is a lot of really surface what can just, you know, push the boat a bit on the side.
Yeah, and a little bit earlier we saw the rubinetti that were holding on one of the buoys, and that was just not to be pushed, but they can't all stay there. So let's continue with the Swift Riviera Rockets with Ben Mason, Finn Hamill, Lauren Henry, Caroline Florin and Ryan Slater. What a crew. To have their palmarès, we need more than a page.
We have you're absolutely right, because so well-known rowers in the classic rowing and in the coastal world. And Finn Hamill, as we already mentioned before, world champion from the last year, won this men's single today already. The Caroline Florine, together with Ben Manson, they were already in the 2nd position in the mixed double. And the Laura Henry, who delivered absolutely solid results also in the women's single.
Yeah, well, yesterday she was a little bit anxious for her first time on the sea, but she really enjoyed it. And what's also nice is that we have those 2 Olympic champions in one boat.
Absolutely.
And probably in 2026 they will be competing against each other in the women's single. Wow. The Swift Harbour Hooligans with Charles Cousins, Eva Karpinen, Jessica Berra, Vincent Noirot and Luca Perry.
Absolutely fantastic crew. Somehow I'm so much in love with a lot of those crews, even the composition of them. I think that those let's say team compositions are really unique one, and you cannot find in any other competitions anywhere in the world. And this is exactly what it makes it interesting, because Charles Cousins is from Great Britain, absolutely a legend. Eva Karpinen, multiple European champion from Finland. Jessica Berra from France, you know, and Vincent Noiro. Really very fantastic people in the same boat.
And then people you must know better than others, the Team Austria.
Well, Chiara Halama, together with Henrietta Ringleb, Leopold Wiesinger and Norbert Dublinskis, and coxed by Teresa Pellegrini. To say so much about this crew is kind of a young crew, but already very experienced one, because Chiara Halama, as we mentioned before, was also a European champion back to 2022, and Henrietta Ringleb, who participated already in so many competitions, coastal competition, traveling through Great Britain together with previously mentioned Charles Cousin through the coast, just rowing on different local and regional regattas. So absolutely well-experienced rower.
And Chiara, who now had a bronze medal in a new event, which is the inclusion mixed at the beach sprint.
Wow. Interesting, as always.
Aviron Monaco.
The local team, the local matadors.
Quentin Antonielli, Guillaume Blanc, Jeanne Roche, Marine Delanoë et Thomas Aubel. Also Olympians in this boat, and they know the water here. Keep your eyes on it. Quentin said that he has always been, since he rose here, on the podium in the quad, and he wants it again. So let's watch out.
I really wish it to them, because as we know, that they struggled. They were penalized in the mixed double. Unfortunately, they just made a false start, so they got a 2 minutes penalty early this day, and that is why, if they want to try to get into these leading positions, then it might be the only possibility for them.
Yeah, and we're back at 3 minutes from the second start, and we still have the team Rubinetti with Simone Martini, Martino Goretti, Valentina Rodini, Sophie Sauers, I don't pronounce it the Italian way because it sounds very Dutch to me, and Andrea Riva. A very experienced crew as well. These names,
Martini,
just hearing of them.
Simona Martini is just one of those people who I have the feeling that they were in the coastal community like one of the longest. Martino Goretti, absolutely crazy guy, but such a fun guy. Really love him. Now living in Swiss, training the juniors and also preparing the best athletes in Swiss and preparing them for the national trials next week. But now he's here and racing as well.
An Olympic champion as well from 2020, and 2 minutes to the start. Olympic champion is Valentina Rodini. We still have the Rockets, what a name, with Austria, USA, France and USA. Christy Wagner-Stoffler, Alisa Trebilcock, Louis Fontanilli, Justin Stevens. Quite interesting as well to see how these compositions are made together.
You know, that's where you see how the rowing actually connecting people.
Ventura, which is a crew from Austria, from Viking Bregenz.
Yes, a crew, as I mentioned before, is really from far western part of the Austria. It's a bit more secluded one, because the bigger part is more in the east. This one is a bit more in the west, over the mountains, but they have a Bodensee, and in Bodensee you sometimes may have just such a fantastic waves.
And 1 minute to go. Sorry, I'm smiling because I see some of the umpires a little bit struggling there. And the last we mentioned is the Vesper Boat Club. They come all the way from USA. It's the first time they come here as a crew, but Vesper already participated earlier, and they're accompanied by John Kelly. So, are you ready?
I'm ready, and I think that it was so nice they made a most false start, because it gave just us the opportunity just to talk a bit longer about the people, because you know the very important thing is just to let you know, dear viewer, like who are actually those people are, because some of them you may think, oh well, they're behind, they're nobody, blah blah blah, but there are just, you know, such a high level and such a high level of different possibilities of outcome of this race.
Ooh, look at this. Look at the problem here. What is this? There is a crew that is blocked. Stay on it. You saw on the buoy here. They couldn't start because they were blocked in it, and they're losing time already. Who are they? I'm trying to see the number.
It's Rubinet.
It's
no. It's Team Kangua.
I don't know, I couldn't see it, but this is a bad start for them, because they were, fortunately, nothing is broken, so they can continue.
Yes.
That's already a good point. But yeah, they lost a little bit of time.
Yes, this is it's a Team Rubinetti with Amos Kaiser, Janneke van der Meulen.
Yeah,
and
such an experienced team.
Yeah, but you see, that's exactly what I was talking about, that everything may happen, and even the most experienced and most powerful crew that delivers already such an outstanding performance earlier this day, they still under this pressure, and they may have like these little issues as well.
But it's the second time that there is something with Team Rubinetti. But they come back, huh? We saw it already.
I
they
can
come
them.
back.
You know,
they
very
really have
crew.
the stamina to give everything and come back in the race. And we see it, by the way. But what a beautiful sight. Can you imagine anything more beautiful than this?
You can see really the best, I think, from the coastal world. You see this fleet like moving all together, almost all in the same height, and all athletes performing their best with the best background pictures you can ever imagine. I am really in love with this wall of city of Monaco that is just behind. Really, what a scenery.
Yeah, and it is difficult to see who is leading here, but it's already interesting to see that some of the boats who are in the second line, I would say, are trying to find their way to come in front and come and challenge the ones who took the best start here.
Well, we see that there is already an early lead for the if I'm not mistaken, this is legends that are a bit on the top side of the leading the pack in the top side of the screen, and in the lower those if I'm not mistaken, there are for sure like two Filippi teams that are fighting for the second place, followed up by one of the Swift teams.
Yeah, we're going closer there with the drones. It's a Filippi boat, that's for sure. It's two Filippi boats in the lead at the moment that we can recognize. And the names, it will be a little bit more complicated
I think on
at the moment.
I think on the right, this is a Team Legends, because I see the headband of Kellogg, sponsor of the Magdalena Lobnik, who is sitting in the stroke seat, and they are already in the number 2 and in the lead. Currently, might be the performance team. I think is on the left.
Yeah, I spoke to the Sinkovic during lunchtime, and they said that they are not that experienced, but Magdalena and Katarina are so experienced that they will rely on them for this race.
I think that is
it's a very wise way of looking at it, but also relying on the cocks
absolutely
to do, because there's nothing between those boats
and
at the moment.
We see they are already doing their waves through the first place, and we see how the legends are actually performing right now. Yeah. Really fantastic move. They are trying to get first to the first buoy in order to get this early lead and to put them in a very comfortable position for the later development of this course. But don't forget, dear viewers, that this is a race over 6 kilometers, so there is still very long time to go.
Yeah, and we saw that just quickly, we saw that it's a Filippi Legends, number 35 there, and their speed at a certain moment was 35 kilometers an hour.
Well, I think that this might be certain surf.
Yeah. Because they have the wind with them at the moment. It's a tailwind at the moment, but we have 3 boats nearly on the same line. The first stretch is 1,370 kilometers, but then between the buoy 1 and the buoy 2, it's only 160 meters, and then 200 and buoy 2, it's only 160 meters, and then 206 meters. So that will be so interesting. The one who has the more power the most power to get there first will have a good chance afterwards.
I think that right now we see how well spread the field is. The team legend, the first three crews, they are not really fighting with each other, so they are having a certain respect, let's say, to each other, and they're keeping a respect distance in order not to crash, because they absolutely know and they are aware of this risk, and if they crash, then this race may just be over for all of them.
And I think it's a Kangoo, an orange boat there that was stopped a little bit, so now they have to pick it up, and those boats are quite heavy to pick up. But look, everything goes quite well on this first buoy, which is not very, very tough to take. It is a little bit open, but anyway, in such a pack, there is always a way to take it in a good way.
I want to really make a point that the organizing committee just selected the position of the boys absolutely wisely to avoid really very sharp corners at the beginning, where there is a high density of the boats, in order to avoid these possible collisions and, you know, to allow all the participants to deliver their best result without collisions. And at the moment we see already that one pack is already getting a bit more in front, the pack of three.
Yeah, with a difference now. There are 2 boat lengths lead for one of them, who could, during the first turn, take a little bit of an advantage. The others are chasing. But yeah, Philippi, it was Swift who was leading at the moment, but Philippi is now very strong in the mixed quad.
Well, you know, they have to build it a bit up because, for example, Team Legend, they had some issues at the beginning of the race. They collided with Team Rubinetti, and they lost their point there. So they are trying to make it and to get in the leading position.
Yeah, and there is already open water and quite good open water between those 3 first boats and the rest of the field, which is very dense at the moment. They are now going towards buoy 3, so it's a 220 meters to get there, and then there will be a long stretch to come back to us. So we will see them closer to us. They will turn here and go back for a second round, because this time it's not 4 but it's 6 kilometers.
You know what, I may think that at the moment is in the lead. I know who they are. That is with Karen Flora and Ben Mason, Finn Hamill, and who are right now in the lead. That is a Team Swift. Wait, Team Swift.
Riviera Rockets.
Yes, the Team Riviera Rockets, because yeah. I just, you know how I recognize, I just saw the bun of Caroline Florine, I understood who is actually in the lead.
Yeah, it's easy to recognize her.
Absolutely.
Some of those are really good for us. They do have whatever we need. But look, they took quite a good lead about 2 boat lengths. We didn't see them at the beginning.
No.
So they came from a little bit further.
I believe that they were exactly the one crew that was all the time on the same height with Team Legends.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they were just a bit closer to the turning buoy, and that's why the Team Legend, they just had to take a bit wider turn, and that's where they lost some meters. But I believe in Legends. That's why they are Legends.
Yeah, we just saw them on the screen, this team.
And you know, they're already in the second.
And Philippi Elite in the 3rd position.
With with the Legends, but let's say young generation of the Legend, because with Gabriel Soares, with Gaia, with absolutely fantastic crew.
Elodie and Davide Mumolo. Yeah. All 4 of them.
Just to remind you that, for example, David Mumolo was participating in the classic rower competitions, and earlier this year in Shanghai in the single scull. Elodie was also there. So there is all those people are basically very talented, very experienced, and very powerful rowers in general.
And we have the Olympian stroking, this team. So, yeah, she's a single sculler. Single scullers are known for having a good rhythm as well. So it's a little bit normal that she is stroking here. I saw her a little bit earlier, and her forearms are a little bit tense. So she had a kind of a compression thing on her arm. But, yeah, it doesn't seem to bother her too much. And look at this beautiful boat here with these four amazing rowers and their cocks, the very young cocks there, Ryan, who is doing a perfect job. He loves the water, he loves the sea, and you can see that he knows how to manage it.
So at the end of the first lap, all the boats are already approaching toward the first finish line of the first lap. They are already on their straight line. Just to remind you, this is the race from 2 laps, so there is still 1 lap to go, and the course is gonna be changed just a bit differently because there are gonna be a little chicane after the buoy number 2. So it's gonna be very interesting to watch how they move just like a snake through the very narrow corridor of the buoys. And we have still, even after this long stretch, 2 really very long straight lines where the crews and first of all even the quads are able to overtake, because you know the race with all this parkour is absolutely very hard strategically to find the way and find the opportunity to overtake your opponent.
But here it is really crucial to be in a good position to take this buoy number 4, because between 4 and 5 there is not even 100 meters. So you really have to be in front to have open water to avoid any possible crash in this. And this is what the Riviera Rockets are trying to do now, keeping that lead. But I see one of the Philippines, I guess it's the Legends, that are coming back very quickly as well. The distance between the boats is getting smaller because they went away from the third. Very clever move there for that team as well, and a good move for the swift Riviera Rockets, who take the turn here first. 1, 2 that continue rowing, some that are helping. 15 is in the second position. 15 being the Philippine Legends indeed in the second position. And the third, I didn't see the number, did you? So we have here the first and the second taking this buoy number 6.
Team Philippi Elite.
And this Elite in the third position. Look at this, how beautiful they take this. They're very close to the buoy, but not too close so that they don't crash into it and lose time.
I would say that's where you see the experience of the coxes, because even if you are leading crew, you have to find the way how to be the closest and to how to find the perfect line in order to get this turn right.
And you can see them if you are here on the dig. What a beautiful sight to see all those boats turning here. And they're still quite close because there are many points to take, and it will be really tough to take them. We see the crew from Monaco just turning here in front of us. They're not on the podium yet, so they will have to work hard if they want to continue this list. Oh, there we have 2 boats that are a little bit together, but no big deal. Oh, and one who is too close to the buoy. You see it here.
Yes.
But okay, they just went there. It's good. You see also different techniques to turn.
Well, I would say that this is absolutely very challenging thing to make a turn in the quad really very clean, because on the both sides you might have just really giant ships that are willing to turn as well, same as you, and to find your personal spot is really getting very, very hard.
But how beautiful is this? Look at this, they just go back, and I can imagine that now they start having quite a lot of strength. The legs become a little bit more difficult. I think that's Chiara that I see there.
Yes, this is a crew from Austria.
412, so it is Team Austria with Halama, Ringleb, Wiesinger, Lubitsky and Pellegrini, we just saw on the screen, also doing a good race.
And now we are just watching the
Rockets.
The Rockets.
The Rockets, the
Riviera Rockets, who are still in the lead. They are in very comfortable lead, but you know, the legends are trying to press because they know if they want to get on the top of this leader table to be able to be the first in the general chart, they have to beat them. Because right now the Riviera Legends, the Riviera Rockets, they're just currently the crew with the most points across the first 3 events.
Yeah, indeed. And here they are still in the lead. They're going back now to buoy number 6. And then it will be interesting. They will do a little bit of a piff-puff, as they say in car racing, to go around. They do counterclockwise and then clockwise on the B7 and then counterclockwise again on B8 before having the long stretch to come back. And that will be one of a little bit more than 1.2 kilometers, but the piff-puff will be 170 and 130 meters, so nearly no time to get a line again. You just turn and turn. So there again, the Cox will be really one of the main points.
I would say that this is very similar. The distance between those boys is very similar to the one from the beach sprint, because it's about like 150, 110 meters is absolutely nothing. And the overtaking there is not really possible, no. But where the crews might have to try is actually on the very long straight back.
Number 10 on our screen. This is Team the Rockets with Trebilcock, Fontanilli, Stevens, Wagnershofer and Lea Giordanengo. It's good that we see some of those other crews, because we didn't have time in the solo, the double mixed, and to talk about them. So it's nice to have a little bit of everything, because even though they're not that performing at certain moment, they are also very good crews, because you have to be able to do this, train a lot. Most of these people train at least once a day. What a sight.
And all the crews already approaching to the buoy number 6. Basically, that is the same buoy that it was in the first lap, buoy number 1. They are having a bit sharper turn this time.
And while we have the 3 in front, you see that for the 4th spot, there is also a little bit of a fight here. A half a boat length between those 2 boats who try, and doing this, they might come back on the leading ones, because if you are leading, you are comfortable, you don't push too, you push all the time, but you get a little bit in a routine, and yeah, when you see the people coming back, it will give you a push again.
You kind of a bit lose control, like you lose a bit the feeling how far you are in front, and then the crew that are really rageously fighting with each other, they just may have a bit bigger boat speed, and then you're just under stress to try to keep up with them, and this might be exactly the point where then the position change may happen.
And we are here in that kind of a snake, when you see it, they're following each other, the differences are quite large, and they're taking the second, so it's B7, the yellow one that they have done, no problem there for the leading teams. And for the 4th place, it's a little bit opener there. There is the orange red boat there has taken the lead, the 4th position. last board to go, which will be a white one, and then we can already see it, and then it will be that long stretch to come back with a headwind, which will also play a role, because your legs are tired. It is, your second race of the day. The conditions are a little bit tough. There are waves. You have to be able to do this. Quite interesting, the last stretch.
There is a difference of about 10 seconds between all these three boats, all the 4 or 5. Actually, there is a pretty equal interval between all the first 6 boats, or even 7. And this is not more than 10 seconds because, so on this final stretch, if there is a crew that's gonna find just a bit more power than the opposite one, they gonna make this position change. But it seems now at the moment that the leading crew is Team Swift Riviera Rockets. Just to remind you, with Colin Florine, Finn Hamill, Ben Mason and Lauren Henry, and coached by Ryan Slatter, followed by Team Filippi Legends with Valentin Martin Sinkovic, together with Magdalena and Katerina Lobnik, and coached by Sergio, and followed by Team Filippi Elite with David Mumulo, Gabriel Soares, Elodie Ravera, and
we can see these teams. We can see them coming back towards us. There is quite a long difference between some of them. Some are still in the snake, I would call it, on the opposite side there, and they really have to push hard now. I can nearly feel it in my legs looking at the screen how tough it will be. But I look forward to the celebration when they pass the line, because it's such an achievement to be able to do this with a team that never rode together. Huh?
Well, that's exactly what makes Challenge Prince Albert just a unique regatta with unique experience, as well for the spectators, as well for the rowers. And the rowers are already on the final stretch with a headwind, so this is a very tough long leg what they have to do right now. But it seems that the field already spread out pretty well, so I wouldn't expect that much of the position change at the moment. The most important thing that there is no crew that just decides that the finish line is somewhere else.
Yeah, but here they have a cock, so they see the finish line more clearly. So we will not have, like we have at this morning in the solo and in the mixed double, people trying to find where the finish line was, because it's the same boys, but they moved a little bit. The finish line is smaller than the start line, because it would have been really bizarre to have the 26 boats coming together.
Wow.
At the start, yes, and we needed room and we needed place enough to get the space for all these boats. And I must say we had a clean start, the second one.
Also comparable clean start, because there was only one collision on the far right with Team Rubinetti.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting where they're gonna end up.
Yeah, and you can see that I have the impression they didn't change their stroke rate from the first to the last one. They're just amazing people, huh?
Well, they have a very solid performance, delivering absolutely fantastic rowing right now. Very long strokes, very powerful one. The waves, they are not really feeling that much of wave of the bumps. There is a slight wave front that they may be confronted by, but it not really walls. Those are the hills. So all those guys who are at the moment in the front, they're very experienced classic rowers, and that is why they are in very good position to finish this race in the top positions.
Yeah, they're good classic rowers, but they're also good coastal rowers for some of them. And they have Ryan as a cox who knows exactly how to handle the waves. Look at this, what a beautiful image here. A few 200 meters, I would say 250 meters, and they will cross the line. The swift Riviera Rockets. Second place, nothing changed. Third place, neither. So there is not a lot of difference in these, but with the rest of the field, we will see what the position will be, because it will be important as well for the ranking.
I would say for the general ranking, it's going to be very interesting.
A few more strokes and we will see them celebrating the win in this mixed coxed four quad. Congratulations to the Riviera Rockets, Swift, and they just continue on their way there. It's very nice. They just don't stop, they just continue and enter in the harbor.
Followed by the Philippi Legends crew with Valent and Martin Sinkovic, together with Katarina and Magdalena Lobnik. Really very strong performance by them. Were fighting till the very end. I would say they delivered the best they can, and you know, like I think this is a very decent result. It's gonna put them for sure some places higher than they are right now in the medal ranking, and followed by the Team Philippi Elite.
Yeah, indeed. They are in the third place. Gabriel Soares, Elodie Ravera Scaramutino, Gaia Umbra Ciavini, Davide Mummolo, and Alessandro Pichetti Calder. Beautiful third place as well for them here. They're quite close, huh? It's the umpires will again have a tough job here, because you see these boats are nearly crossing together again. So it's gonna be really interesting to see. And we have next to us very happy new Kiwis welcoming their crew to the finish here. We can't turn because of the wind, but really, what a race!
Absolutely fantastic race. As we saw that all of those athletes are very happy, and they perform very well. Like now we see also the team Rubinetti that finished about in 10th after unfortunate start earlier, just right on the start. They fighted their way through a lot of crews, but unfortunately this first mistake just cost them too much.
Yeah, it was strange, and they were really caught up there. We see the Germans also already crossed the line with number 407. They're entering the harbor now. The harbor, which it's Philippi Turbo with the German blades, and the harbor, which will be the place where the last 50 points will be distributed. Tomorrow it's gonna be a tough racing in the sprints, 500 meters. Can you imagine with all these powerhouses?
Well, as we saw it last year, that there are gonna be just so many changes still happen in the medal ranking just because of these not beach sprint, just normal sprints. Because after all, we are not sprinting here on the beach, it's just in the harbor, so just water start and finish. It's gonna be really amazing to see all the crews, not only endurance capacities, but also the sprint capacities. And that's what we're gonna experience tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and they will start from 9 o'clock to do time trials, and then we will join you again for the 8th of finals from 10:20 onwards, and there we will have the best crews competing again against each other. Yeah, we remember from last year that it was so close,
so many close
racing, and it's the last one, so they can give it all. Although it's every time a knockout. So while you have to give it all, you need to keep a little bit if you go to the next one. So it's a tricky thing. It's like in beach sprint, actually.
Absolutely, and the format of this racing is just so interesting, and I would say they are very engaging to watch, engaging to participate in, and that's why we hope that all the viewers that we had with us today just to join us tomorrow, because this is gonna be a really hell of a ride.
Indeed, it will be. We see there the Riviera Rockets congratulating each other. Yeah, tonight they will have a little bit of a party, but I guess they will still be quite brave for looking to be ready for tomorrow. And here we have the ranking of this race. So Riviera Rockets 50 points, so that's 6 points again they take ahead of the Philippi Legends. Philippi Elite in the 3rd position, Kangua Wild Racing Galaxy 4th, the Swift Surf Sprinter in the 5th position, the Regatta Rascals from Swift again in the 6th position, Ruby Netti, look, the 7th, huh? With the start they did, it's incredible. Aviron Monaco is 8th, the Coastbuster Germany 9th, Philippi Performance 10th, Rubinetti 11, Lightboat, and happy for them because of the problems they had today with 16 points here, 12th. The Swift Harbor Hooligans are in a 13th position and still earn 14 points.
I'm quite interested where the Team Turbo was, because somehow I didn't saw them on the list right now.
And we will have a little summary again. That is nice to see. Just in a few images, we see what happened in this race. You see all these boats. What a beautiful sight! I can't get enough of this with the drone going ahead. And this was the full start. So that was tough. And this is the 2nd start, where we see here that they're completely blocked by the buoy, and they came back as we saw in the final ranking.
They made such a great performance. Team Rubinetti, just let's not forget who are sitting in this boat. These are really the powerhouses with a lot of experience, and that's why it's very pity for them that they decided like to not to start properly. I mean, it happens, it's nothing bad about it. But nevertheless, I hope that they still enjoyed this way through all the other crews, that they made a really nice fight. For the other crews, it's absolutely fantastic performances we saw all together in the course of this race. Of course, the Riviera Rockets, who were leading through the whole course of the race, followed up by the Legends. They were trying to get those rockets, but unfortunately that was just slightly not enough.
Yeah, and I think we should congratulate the organization and the race director for designing such an interesting course as well for these 6 kilometers.
I really loved this time, this difference of the course, that you have 2 laps, because even for the spectators that are right here experiencing those races live and watching from this pontoon where we are also sitting, it's just more engaging, and it just gives a bit more interest and a bit more insight in the race. You see how exhausted the faces are, you see how they're stroking, because in the previous racing it was just a bit more further away and you kind of losing connection to the athletes, and that was just a bit sad. But this year it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and also the fact that there is the big screen where people can see, and then when they come closer they can see the people in real, and then they switch back to the screen to follow the action again. I think this is amazing as a setup.
Absolutely. And you know, also for the coaches that are staying here, that they are also trying to support emotionally, mentally, I don't know, to make some dances or whatever to support their team, to kind of put their team in a good karma. They are still always trying, and they are always cheering them up, and always, you know, and the visual representation of performance of their crews is of course the best thing that every coach can ever have.
And look at these beautiful images. We close up on the quay there, but we also see the scenery behind it, and it's just amazing to have this. It's iconic.
Absolutely, you are right. We have here a casino in the background. You see it far, far away. The Société Nautique du Monaco that is actually accepting us here is really fantastic thing. Really a very nice building, really amazing place to be. Hope everybody who gonna just come over just to visit it once.
And it seems there is a little bit of a change in the ranking, and I think it is Aviron Monaco who was 8 and who is now 9, so Rubinetti that moved up 8. So yeah, it is. It's a little change, and it's points that are very important for the end ranking.
I would say that that's exactly where you see, because I was asking about Felipe Turbo team, because they were in the first list, not on the list, but now we see that they performed really very well with Moritz Wolf, Franz Werner, with Sophie Leupold and Julia Tertünte. Very strong performance, really amazing result.
Yeah, and everybody came in. So it's perfect, and I hope everybody enjoyed it as much as we did here, and that they will be ready to give us again a lot of adrenaline for tomorrow.
I hope very much so. And just to, if I'm not mistaken, by the way, I have the feeling that the Team Turbo, they are at the moment in the very good position, just because they were already in the place 5 in the general ranking. Thank you very much. It's exactly what we used to need. And as I said, so the Swift Riviera Rockets just leading with a pretty big margin.
Yeah.
Really fantastic result by them.
It's 15 points.
So,
but that's nothing, 15 points.
To be honest, I cannot remember the ranking for the beach sprint. How it's gonna be divided, because you know it's always relatively. So yeah, followed by the Philippe Legends that after the magical performance in the quad got themselves in the general ranking on the place 2. Followed up, I saw only that Felipe Turbo was. I'm sorry, I missed. You know, the blondes forget very fast who was in the 3rd place.
I didn't say it.
If I'm not mistaken, it was actually... we just...
So here we have the races for tomorrow. So yeah, be there for the last rounds of 16, because it will be interesting to watch. And maybe we can put back the ranking so that you
that we
have
can
it.
Talk a bit about it. Discuss the general results of today's day. Thank you very much. So, the Swift Regatta Rascals is a Spanish crew together with Esther Brisa Morano, Anda Martin, with Gonzalo Garcia and Teresa Diaz Morena, that are in the 3rd place. They had a very good results overall. There were no big crashes, always solid performance, very nice. So, as I said before, in the place 4, Felipe Turbo, together with Moritz Wolf, Julia Tertünte, Franz Werner and Sophie Leupold. Really amazing crew from Germany, put up by Felipe. Amazing performance through all of the competitions. Unfortunately, they had a bit an issue, a bit collisions in the women's solo. Nevertheless, they're still in the 4th position and trying to get into these first 3 spots. Followed up by Rubinetti, just so you don't forget, you know, how valuable actually the points that they were gathering. They have had a very good performance in the men's single. Amos Kaiser just finished in the place 3. And Jannica van der Meulen won her race. In the mixed double, they had a collision that put them really very far away, and this really fatal start at the beginning in the quad. But still, they are in the fighting position, and we see that the crews between 4 and 6 have almost the same amount of points. So for tomorrow is still very exciting. And yeah, just to summarize, Kangaroo Wild Racing Galaxy, Swift Surf Sprinters in the place 9, Philippi Performance in place 9. Yes.
And you see the second part here of the general ranking, and just it's interesting to see that it's the first time actually that the Swift boats are so ahead, because in the last 2 editions it was a Philippi boat who won and a Kangaroo in 2022. So I'm really looking forward that we can see the boys coming home again.
But they are moving by themselves.
They're just the GPS there. It's just amazing. They just come in alone. They did their job very well, so we can congratulate them as well, and the people who handled them. It is Charles with his team, and yeah, what a day we could experience today. Tomorrow more excitement, and I hope you enjoyed it. You will come and join us again in beautiful Monaco, and everything can still change, so stay tuned.
Thank you very much, and see you tomorrow.
Bonne soirée. Merci. Au revoir.